Hey, welcome back to Boxing Fever, where we celebrate the raw, unfiltered brutality of combat sports.
Good night. There goes Monaco. And I mean, there he goes. Well, that does it for this fight.
Tonight, we're diving deep into the career of a man who defied every conventional wisdom about what a fighter should look like. A man who turned the sweet science into a demolition derby. A warrior who proved that sometimes raw power trumps everything else.
I think that there you go. It is. Oh, that's about it. I mean, that's about it. Butterbean has done it.
Eric Scott Esch, better known to the world as Butterbean, wasn't just a fighter, he was a phenomenon. Standing at 5'11" and weighing anywhere from 300 to 425 pounds, throughout his career, this Alabama native became the unlikeliest of combat sports icons. From Toughman contests in southern bars to packed arenas in Las Vegas, from 4-round boxing specials to mixed martial arts cages. Butterbean carved out a legacy that transcended weight classes and rule sets. Tonight, we're breaking down 6 of his most devastating knockouts moments where opponents learned the hard way that beneath that unconventional exterior was a legitimate knockout artist. So lock your doors, turn up the volume, and prepare yourself for pure, unfiltered violence. In April 12th, 1997, Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world. The International Boxing Association had created something special, a super heavyweight championship designed specifically for the giants of the sport. This wasn't about speed or finesse. This was about raw, crushing power. Ed White walked into that ring with confidence written all over his face. At 6'2", he had the height advantage. He had the reach. On paper, he had everything needed to keep the shorter, stockier Butterbean at bay. What he didn't have was an appreciation for the physics involved when 400 pounds of momentum gets behind a right hand. The first round was a feeling-out process. White utilized his jab effectively, popping it like a piston, trying to establish distance. He circled the ring, staying mobile, making Butterbean chase him. But here's what people didn't understand about Bean. He wasn't just swinging wildly. He was calculating, cutting off the ring inch by inch, waiting for that perfect moment. That moment came in round 2. White had been moving clockwise all night, predictable in his patterns. As he circled left once more, his right hand dropped just 6 inches. A momentary lapse in concentration that would cost him consciousness. Butterbean had been loading up that legendary overhand right, and when he let it fly, it connected with the force of a sledgehammer meeting a watermelon. But here's where this knockout became legendary. White didn't just fall. The impact sent him careening backward with such velocity that he went completely through the ropes.
Left-right combination. White is down and out of the ring. Fight is over. And another cut developed on the face of Butterbean beside.
His body folded over the middle rope, half in the ring, half out, like a rag doll that had been thrown against a fence. The crowd erupted in a mixture of shock and awe. The referee didn't even bother counting. How do you count out a man who's been ejected from the ring? This knockout would be replayed on highlight reels for decades. It became Butterbean's signature moment, proof that in the world of 4-round fights, he was the undisputed king of chaos. Next was Peter McNeely, who had a claim to fame that most journeymen could only dream of. He was Mike Tyson's first opponent after Iron Mike's release from prison. Sure, he lasted only 89 seconds against Tyson.
Stop that nonsense because they were starting to butt heads. Oh. Tyson with a left hook, a right uppercut. Down goes McNeely again. Steve, he's very hurt. He can barely stand up.
They want Tyson to go to the neutral corner. What's going on?
Correct. That was not correct. That's a crime for McNeely. This kid was fighting his heart out. That is wrong.
But he had faced greatness and lived to tell the tale. On June 18, 1999, he would face a different kind of monster. McNeely's nickname was Hurricane, and true to form, he came out swinging like a man possessed. His strategy was clear: overwhelm Butterbean before the big man could set his feet. It was actually sound thinking. If you're facing a puncher, become the puncher. Make him fight your fight. For about 30 seconds, it looked like it might work. McNeely threw combinations with bad intentions, whipping hooks from odd angles, trying to find gaps in Butterbean's high guard. The crowd was on their feet, sensing an upset in the making. But Butterbean had been here before. He tucked his chin behind his massive shoulders, absorbed the shots on his arms and gloves, and waited. When McNeely paused to catch his breath, just a split-second hesitation, Bean struck. The combination was simple but devastating, a short right to the temple that stunned McNeely, causing his hands to drop. Then came the left hook, compact and vicious, that bent McNeely sideways like a tree in a hurricane. But the finishing blow was vintage Butterbean, that overhand right that seemed to come from the cheap seats, crashing down on McNeely's jaw with finality. McNeely hit the canvas hard, his legs betraying him completely. To his credit, he rose on pure warrior spirit, but his eyes told a different story.
And that's it. Shane steps in and stops the fight just before the bell. It's over in the first round.
If I said sacrificial lamb, would I be overstating the case?
They were vacant, staring at nothing. The referee took one look and waved it off. The hurricane had been reduced to a gentle breeze. First round knockout. Another victim added to the list. Another reminder that Butterbean's power was democratic. It didn't care about your resume. To truly understand Butterbean's evolution as a destroyer, we need to travel back to 1995. This was early career Bean, still finding his identity in the professional ranks. He'd already made waves on the Toughman circuit, but professional boxing was supposed to be different. It was supposed to require technique, strategy, and conditioning. Pat Jackson entered the ring that night representing everything traditional boxing stood for. He was tall, athletic, and schooled in the fundamentals. His corner had given him a simple game plan: use your jab, use your feet, and for the love of all that's holy, don't trade with the fat guy. For the first minute of round one, Jackson executed perfectly. His jab snapped out like a whip, finding its mark repeatedly. He moved laterally, forcing Butterbean to turn and reset. To the casual observer, it looked like a boxing lesson was being administered. But Butterbean wasn't just absorbing punishment, he was solving a puzzle. Every time Jackson moved, Bean noted the pattern. Every time the jab came out, Bean timed the retraction. He was like a predator studying prey, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That moment came midway through the round. Jackson had established a rhythm. Jab, jab, move right. Jab, jab, move right. On the third repetition, Butterbean stepped into the pattern. As Jackson began his rightward movement, Bean cut him off with surprising agility for a 400-pound man. The left hook that followed was a thing of violent beauty. It caught Jackson on the temple just as he was shifting his weight, multiplying the impact. Jackson's knees buckled instantly, his body going rigid before crumpling. But Butterbean wasn't done. As Jackson tried to regain his footing, Bean launched a right hand that could have demolished a building. The referee didn't hesitate, jumping between the fighters before permanent damage could be done. Technical knockout, round one. Jackson had come in with a perfect game plan. The only problem was that game plans tend to evaporate when you're getting hit by someone who punches like a freight train. By the year 2000, Butterbean had refined his craft. He wasn't just a one-punch wonder anymore. The fight against Marcus Rode on July 28th would showcase a different side of his destructive capabilities, the systematic breakdown of an opponent's will to fight. Rode came into this fight with a reputation for durability. He was known as the kind of fighter who could take your best shot and keep coming forward. His record showed multiple fights that went the distance against heavy punchers. If anyone could weather the Butterbean storm, it was supposed to be Marcus Rode. Round 1 started with an unexpected wrinkle. Butterbean was jabbing. Not just pawing with his left hand, but actually throwing crisp, purposeful jabs. Each one landed with a thud that echoed through the arena. Rode kept his guard high, confident he could absorb whatever came his way. But in round 2, Butterbean switched targets. Those massive hands started targeting the body, and this is where Rode's night turned into a nightmare. Body shots from a 400-pound man aren't just painful, they're organ-rearranging experiences. Each hook to the ribs forced involuntary grunts from Rode. His breathing became labored. His footwork deteriorated. By round 3, Rode was a sitting duck. His hands had dropped to protect his tortured midsection, leaving his head exposed. Butterbean had been setting this trap for 2 rounds, and now it was time to spring it. He feinted low, causing Rode's hands to drop even further, then came over the top with a right hand that had bad intentions written all over it. The impact was sickening. Rode's head snapped back violently, his body going limp as he collapsed into the ropes. The referee didn't need to see more. He stepped in immediately, saving Rode from further punishment. Another knockout victory, but this one was different. This one showed that Butterbean wasn't just a brawler. He was a tactician who could break you down piece by piece before delivering the coup de grace. February 10, 2007, marked a special night at London's iconic Wembley Arena. Butterbean was stepping into mixed martial arts territory, trading his boxing gloves for 4-ounce MMA gloves. His opponent, James the Colossus Thompson, a British heavyweight with a reputation for aggressive, crowd-pleasing fights. Thompson's strategy was written in neon lights. Rush Butterbean before he could get comfortable. Take him down and pound him out. It was MMA 101 against a boxer. Change the playing field. Make him fight where he's uncomfortable. The bell rang, and Thompson charged forward like a man shot out of a cannon. He threw wild overhand rights, trying to stun Butterbean early. The British crowd was deafening, cheering their countryman's aggressive start. For a moment, it looked like Thompson's blitz might work. But Butterbean had been preparing for this exact scenario. As Thompson rushed in with his chin high and his hands low, classic mistakes from an overeager fighter, Bean planted his feet and threw a counter right that was timed to perfection. The punch landed flush on Thompson's jaw.
It is.
Just as he was moving forward, multiplying the impact exponentially, Thompson's legs turned to jelly instantly. He crashed to the canvas face first, his body going completely limp. The referee didn't even start counting. This was mixed martial arts, and Thompson was clearly unconscious. 43 seconds. That's all it took for Butterbean to prove that his power translated perfectly to the world of MMA. The smaller gloves meant less protection for opponents and more devastating knockouts for fans. The Wembley crowd, despite seeing their hometown fighter get demolished, gave Butterbean a standing ovation. They had just witnessed something special, a 41-year-old, 400-pound boxer knocking out an MMA fighter in under a minute. March 2007, Worcester, Massachusetts. At 40 years old, most fighters are long retired, telling stories about their glory days in dimly lit bars. But Butterbean wasn't most fighters. Standing across from him was Joe Siciliano, a tough Massachusetts police officer who had taken the fight on short notice. Siciliano represented everything admirable about club-level fighters: tough, proud, and willing to fight anyone, anywhere. He had no illusions about winning a decision. His plan was simple: survive the early storm and hope Butterbean would gas out. Round 1 shattered those hopes immediately. Butterbean came out looking refreshed, focused, and angry. He hammered Siciliano's body with hooks that sounded like baseball bats hitting a heavy bag. Then, without warning, he switched upstairs with a left hook that caught Siciliano perfectly on the jaw. Down went Siciliano, hitting the canvas hard. To his immense credit, he beat the count, rising on legs that barely supported him. His corner should have stopped it there. But pride is a powerful drug in boxing. Siciliano wanted to continue. Round 2 was a formality. Butterbean stalked forward, measuring his man, then unleashed a final barrage that left no doubt. Another knockdown, another beating of the count, but this time the referee had seen enough. He stepped in, saving Siciliano from his own courage. As Butterbean climbed the ropes in victory, the crowd chanted his name. At 40 years old, he had proven that his power hadn't diminished. If anything, experience had made him more dangerous. He wasted less energy and placed his shot with surgical precision. 6 fights, 6 destructions, 6 reminders that in combat sports, power is the great equalizer. Butterbean never won an Olympic gold medal. He never held a major world title. He never fought for 12 rounds against boxing's elite. But what he did was perhaps more impressive. He created a lane that was entirely his own. From Ed White flying through the ropes, to James Thompson crumpling in an MMA cage, Butterbean proved that entertainment and legitimacy aren't mutually exclusive. He gave us moments that transcended the sport, knockouts that made even casual fans jump from their seats. In an era obsessed with perfect physiques and athletic specimens, Butterbean reminded us that fighting is about more than appearances. It's about heart, timing, and the ability to turn your supposed weaknesses into strengths. He took everything that should have held him back, his weight, his limited reach, his 4-round ceiling, and turned them into advantages. This is Boxing Fever, bringing you the most savage, the most brutal, and the most honest content in combat sports. Butterbean's legacy isn't just in the knockouts he delivered, but in the reminder that sometimes, just sometimes, the unlikely become unforgettable. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment below. Which Butterbean knockout shocked you the most? And what fighter's greatest knockouts should we cover next? Until next time, keep your guard up, your chin down, and remember, in the ring, anything can happen, especially when there's 500 pounds of destruction coming your way.
Those body punches